will be no problem. But there is something in the human being that we don't know, and we call it a soul. It's different. It's a human being. Okay, as I'm sitting and talking about the 7 points in the human being, I said the number 1 point, that is where your soul is, and is oriented to your survival instinct. The second point, the second vortex of psychic energy, is oriented to your self-satisfaction. It is like a scale, and that is where your sensation is. That is why when they touch you, you feel it. When you eat something, you know the taste, and that is where even the sexual energy is coming from, to make a new man. Because even the children we make, we call them our children. We should not call them our children. We should call them new. A new man is born, or a new female is born. We don't own them. It's just the process of nature. So from that vortex of psychic energy, you go to the third one, that is oriented to your self-definition. And that is why you have power. It's your power light. It's defining you. That is why you can fold your hands and you can jump, you can open your eyes and close them. Okay, from this third one, you go to the fourth one, that is the middle in number 7. Because in number 7, number 4 is the middle. What is in number 4? The human being. But if you do zikrullah until you see what is in the human heart, what do you think you will see? You will see a human face. You will see an eye, and see this nose breathing. You see the mouth and this. This is what you see as a light, not like a flesh, but as a light. It is shining, and that is the center of devotion. That is what a human being is. That is why Muhammad, he brought the water. He said, ablution. What are you cleaning? Clean these parts of you. Where are they living? In your heart. We say sense of thinking, sense of seeing, sense of hearing. It's more than sense of thinking and seeing and hearing. This is a desire. You desire to see. You desire to hear. A desire, buga buga, in Wolof. You have this. You desire to talk. So this is what we call nafsu, and this is what is a human being. And it's oriented to what we call your self-acceptance. That is the fourth point inside along the spinal column. The fifth point is in the throat. You see people, they suffer only from words. Okay, you can go out with a friend, and somebody just insulted you, and he would start to fight. And you would laugh and say, just forget, leave them. Because just a word is passing, but the mouth is very powerful. It can create so much of problems. And that is where our creative expression comes from. It's in the throat. The mouth is just a speaker. The words are coming from the throat. Yeah. And this color is red. And when this color is having problem, your language must have problem. Okay. The sixth vortex of psychic energy is at the forehead. It's inside your brain, but at the forehead. And that is oriented to your self-intuition. This is the eye that sees your dreams when you are sleeping at night. You are not aware of nothing. But this eye is open because you stop thinking. It doesn't function with thinking. When you stop thinking, this eye is open. And anything you dream, the eye is witnessing it. That is oriented to your self-intuition. And at the top of the crown, that is where you have the crown light. That is the crown of all the lights. And that is what we call the mind. And it is oriented to your self-knowledge. It is archetype identity. It can be in a vividly bright conscious plane, every fragment of which represents boundless source of knowledge, embracing the present, the past, and the future, commanding all science and philosophies, art ever known and that will be known in the ages to come. It's all concentrated in a point existing here and everywhere, now and always. It's a formless and an ozonless. It's a formless and a measureless ozone of wisdom from which drop by drop of knowledge was filtered, and that will continue to filter into the human brain. Human beings. Yeah, go ahead. Human beings, we have a lot that we have to know about ourselves, but sometimes we run away from our responsibilities. If I was going to Bara and through the ferry somebody stole my money from my pockets, I would not blame my thief. I would ask myself, what have I done until I was stolen? Because everything have a cause. And if you follow what happens, you would see also where your weak points are. Because if you are well focused on your money, then nobody would have been able to pick it from the ferry. But humans, we run away from our own responsibilities and we want to attach it somewhere that will not give us any reason.
All right. We have been cautioned that we're not making much as time is concerned. Now, two questions, very interesting. They'll take a long time for you to answer them, of course. And one of them is the mind and attitude change. If we want to change our attitudes, how does the mind come to help in that?
Okay. Now, the mind comes, we can only change an attitude by training the mind to be able to control, purify, and dominate what we call the selfish ego. Because we are desire, and this desire have an ego. And the only way for the mind to dominate and purify and control this ego is by training the mind itself. But training the mind through meditation, through zikrulah, through praying, a bit of reading can help, but it might take you to more thoughts. But training the mind through these rituals, these spiritual ways, that is why religion came. But how many people are receiving this mind training from their prayings and their fastings and their zikrulahs and their offerings? Because you have to train your mind through it. But how now? Okay, like ustazis who are preaching people about religion should be able to also help people to know how to train their mind, how to pray and not to think. You now have to start to practice praying without thinking. This is an instruction. There is a way to do it.
You know why I asked you this question about mind change, because or attitude change, because every now and then you hear the president says to people that Gambians have to change their
attitudes. Okay,
and that's one reason why I asked you this problem, attitudinal change.
So they can only change their attitude through their minds. Like the president, he have achieved what we call the 8 full parts of life, and he was able to have an awakening. From beginning, before he became a president, he became a Sheikh. They call him Sheikh later, but the Sheikh was the first title. That was when he fulfilled the 8 full parts of life. Right understanding, right thought, right speech, right livelihood, right effort, right action, mindfulness and concentration. Then he concentrated to what he was going to do. And what happened there? He had what we call a vision of reality. He liberated his soul. And he had what we call clairvoyance and prediction, to predict how things are going to be. Then he had the power of, he have the power to succeed in undertaking those worldly programs. Then also another title came to give him the power to influence people. This is from mind development. And even from him, if he can remember, before he became a president, his last dreams must be communicating with his mind, because there is an awakening in him that has made him not to believe, but to know. You only believe from hearing, but you know from seeing. He have known something that this, I have the right thought.
asalaamaaleykum mbokk yi ñoo seetaan sama studio ba neex rek moo tax ma nekk fii di reen yi de ñu leen di jaajëfal di leen wax ne rek dal leen ak jàmm seen beneen programme yi Starline beneen takkusaane dimanche yi boy
waaw cere kontaan naa bu baax pour teew si programme bi waat waaye Lamine Daw ak Faké next week ñëw nañu isi
neex nañ de